SLU-PP, some call it SLU-PP-332 and TRT. Is it worth it?
Man, I had to go dig into this rabbit trail because I don't keep up with a lot of the hyped peptides right now because it's insane how I get like 5 or 6 messages a day about peptides right now. When I mean, a year ago it was hardly anything. So I don't know if people are hyping these up on talk shows all of a sudden right now. I assume they are. I mean, these peptides, a lot of them have been around for years. Bodybuilders have been playing with these things for a long time. Most of them go in the trash bin because they realize they don't do what they're promised, you know. The SLU, from the only paper I really could find on it that was worth reading, again, the problems are people think you're going to find exercise in a pill or an injection. You're not. You're chasing markers that they equate with exercise. But just because you can look at certain markers of things like fatty acid oxidation or whatever, doesn't mean that that's happening for the same reason as it does in exercise. This is the same mistake I see people making a lot of like the carnivore groups and everything when they associate, you know, fatty acid utilization with burning body fat. Oh, your body's switched over to burning, or the keto group. They've been saying this forever, right? You're burning fat as fuel now. It's like that has nothing to do with whether you're losing body fat or not, first of all. And if you look at the actual study done in these mutant mice who are not humans, the numbers and the differences achieved were not that different. If you look at the actual scatter plots, not just the bars, but go look at the individual variations between the groups, they're all over the place. So this is another problem with statistics, you know, is that you can make anything kind of look significant when if you look at the individuals, you're like, well, it didn't matter for that one. It didn't matter for that one. That one still gained weight and this one didn't, you know. And so that would be my concern, is that people are always chasing the easy fix. And if this works, I mean, if you take it and you lose fat by not changing anything, more power to you, but you don't know how that's doing that in the body. You don't. Any claims that you know exactly what all these medicines are doing to the body as a whole, you don't know what they're doing. And so it's my same concern I have in a similar fashion with the GLP-1s and things like that. I mean, do they work? Yes. Do we know how those work? Yeah, in general. I mean, you're stopping the gut from doing what it's supposed to do so you feel full, right? I mean, you're essentially paralyzing your gut and inducing gastroparesis. Any of these claims about what it does in the brain, you can't validate it. In general, we know how those work. These other ones, I don't know. I mean, look at like DNP. I mean, that works, but it ain't healthy. It ain't safe, you know, and bodybuilders know that. They admit it. And I think that's the main thing here is like, if you educate yourself on these things enough to go, okay, I don't really know how this thing may work. It may not be healthy, but I don't care. I want to try this as a guinea pig for myself. That's great, because then you have informed consent to do it. You have all the information. My problem is when these things are just pushed as miracle drugs, and nobody goes into like, oh, okay, but watch out for this, this, and this, and we don't know what it's doing. They'll just push it as, you got to take this thing, man. It's a miracle, and it's just not. But yeah, the study I found, the main study I could only find was really one study in these mutant mice. Everything else were peptide research chemical websites promoting it. So again, there's no issue taking it with or without TRT. I don't think the TRT part has anything to do with it. Like, TRT is its own category. I don't see that conflicting with any other experimental peptides somebody wants to take per se.